Welcome back to Pole Barn Garage, where we are back with the Cadillac, the 472 swapped 1964 Buick Skylark, although I think it's a special, whatever. If you missed part one of this, you need to watch it to see where we're at to this point. The last thing we did was get a cooling system figured out. What's up next on the docket is brakes. We got to get all the brakes done on it. That way we can set the car on the ground, hang the sheet metal on it, figure out some kind of seating, and lots more. I promise you, burnouts by the end of this video, or carnage, whichever comes first. In the last video, we already fixed a few brake lines and replaced the master cylinder. So now we're going to rebuild all 4 drum brakes. We're not going to do any disc brake swaps or anything that costs money. This is a budget build, and we're going to keep it that way. Well, I'm seeing some good things. One, new ball joints. That's nice, or at least new upper ball joints. We also have fin drums on all 4 corners. Granted, these are, of course, just GM 9.5-inch drum brakes. It's the only drum brake ever offered on the A-body. It was barely adequate to stop them back then, and probably less adequate now. But we don't care. We're here for a good time, not a long time. I also noticed that the shocks are new all the way around on the car, so we don't have to do that. That rolls really nice. I'd wager there's probably nothing in here, but I guess we'll find out. Freshest grease, but they did not pack that bearing very good. Yeah, there is stuff in here. Good. Don't even look that bad. No, wheel cylinders are trashed, but that's alright. It could use some bearings. They're not out of round or anything, but they are worn pretty heavily. This drum is not in bad shape at all. That's runnable. These shoes aren't even in bad shape. They're newer. I'd say they're 75% or better. I've got a horde of Rock Auto no-name parts here. We're going to use all of these to refurbish our brakes. Refurbish the drum real quick here. And it's turned and good to go. There's just one thing about these early A-body drums. Is it does have this bolt here. And this bolt secures the little hangers for your springs to go on. You have to take that out to get the wheel cylinder out. When I'm taking stuff off, I try to put it back where it came from, right? So I'm going to just set this on the ground, and then when I pull this spring off, I'm going to put it on the left side of that. That way I just kind of know which side things go on. Also, don't take apart the other side until this one's done. I've done enough of these I could just about do it by memory, but I still forget from time to time, so it's always a good idea just to be safe. This is the dumb part about these GM wheel cylinders from this era. You can't hardly get to the bolts for the wheel cylinder on the back here. You cannot use a socket at all. If you round it off, then you're kind of boned. Sometimes you can get a closed-end wrench on them. Not always. I don't know what the difference is, but I swear sometimes you're in here just trying to barely get it out. However, this car is not in terrible shape, so they are coming out pretty easily. I would learn to eat those words soon enough. Play a little brake line roulette here, and this brake line came free no problem, and it seems to be in pretty good shape, so we'll just reuse it. The bare minimum thing you should do on a drum brake system is wheel cylinders and hoses. Anything with rubber in it, you need to replace it. If it's been sitting for any amount of time. We will put new hardware and shoes in as well, because we're kind of all about not half-assing things here. You know, we try to do everything by the book. Go, new wheel cylinder. I got that brake slammed together. Now, I'm going to throw some mystery bearings in here. See, the thing is, the tolerances in them are looser. And loose means fast, right? So we're gaining speed here. A new wheel seal here. Tap that into place. Feels pretty good. Now I'll have to come back and adjust these, of course, but I'm setting everything up nice and loose, you know, because it's a race car. You know what? Maybe we'll start with car and we'll add the race later. Blow the cobs out of this. Yeah. I wanted to paint them red, but I didn't have any red paint. So, unfortunately, $4.99 is not in the budget. But I did have some black. That'll be just fine. I'm gonna have JD do a brake, but you already found a...
No, what are you talking about?
A really bad axle bearing.
It's fine.
You think you can do it? See me do it enough?
It.
Alright. Don't take apart the other side until you're,
Yep.
Until you're ready. JD started to take this brake apart, but it's kind of all for nothing, as we'll find out here in a minute. You got a big problem on this side. Somebody's snapped off that spindle bolt up here. Let me try to get this backing plate off, and then see if I can't get that out. It's kind of broken right in the middle. It's like they over-tightened it, maybe? Yeah, this bolt was just sitting in here like that. I don't know. It just twisted in half. This bolt here really isn't doing anything other than holding the backing plate on. Still though, without something to secure this into the backing plate, it's not really gonna work very good, is it? I think there's enough for me to grab with the air hammer. Let's let it warm up a bit, maybe. That was on there long enough to catch all the grease in the ball joint on fire. Yeah, it's pretty hot. It's moving. I don't like how it's moving. If we can get it out of there, maybe we can re-tap the hole at least. So this is loose, weirdly loose, which I would assume means it will come out. So I've got some left-handed drill bits here. Let's see what happens. And if the left-handed drill bit doesn't work, I've got some extractors I'd be willing to try on this. I would go a little bigger than that. Extractors scare the shit out of me, but hey. Oh my god, it worked. Kinda. Not. Oh, all the threads are gone. There's some in the very, very, very back. Let's try to clean them up. Looks like somebody just ran that bolt in, cross-threaded it, and then snapped it off. I don't know who would ever do something stupid like that. Half 20 fine thread. That's the biggest tap I've got in my box. I think there is enough in here I can clean up the threads. There she goes. Whew. I go and say, oh, it's just a brake job. You know, you guys have seen it a million times. It's always something. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow to put this back together. I don't have one of these weird fine thread bolts laying around that puts a brake on this brake. I went ahead and put this brake together to the point of needing to put that bolt in, but that's done. However, we have more dramatic developments. You might notice that's not good, and that's a lot of grease. That's not even drivable. I mean, that's not even...
You hit it one time and it's gonna explode.
Dude, you just drive down the road, that thing is gonna seize. And then your side over here, it's not much better.
It's still pretty bad though.
Yeah, it's definitely has a bad axle bearing over here too. It's not as bad, but see that? Dude, this is bad. We put a 9-inch in the 67 Skylark, the Sky Goat. Yeah. That old 10 bolt, I think, is still laying in the scrap pile. Okay. So if we go pop the axles out of it, we can swap them into here.
Okay.
Let's pop these axles out and see what it looks like.
Yeah.
You get that one taken apart, and I'll go pull the axle out of the other side. This is a BOP axle, so the axles are bolt in, no C-clip stuff here. That makes it a little bit nicer. Oh, yeah, that shouldn't fall out that easily. Oh, the carnage. And I didn't even get to do it. I have no way to install that bearing. And Kansas City is a dead zone for machine shops. So we'll have to make do with used. Those brakes are lubed so they don't squeak. Yeah, you normally need an axle puller for that. Yeah, wiggle that bearing. Yeah, you know, it's something wrong with it.
Like there's nothing in between there.
Dude, they must have really had a good time with this thing before they parked it. I'm mad.
Really?
Yeah, I'm mad. I wanted to do that.
Oh.
That's not fair. I wanted to kill it. Brand new.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
A lot better.
Yeah. two axles. I'm pretty sure the width is the same. So we're running into some issues here. The axles out of this car are just a touch shorter than the axles out of the Skygoat rear end. So I compared it to this. This is an axle out of a 68 to 72 that I had laying around. That is the same as the Skygoat. I think the Skygoat had a 68 to 72 rear end in it, which they do bolt in, they work all the same, but they're 1 inch overall wider. Since we're being cheap, this leaves us with one other option, which is go rob them off of one of the other cars out back, the one we got the steering gear for this car out of. I don't know if we can get a jack under that. We could definitely get the one out of the convertible. Definitely prefer to yank him out of this. Yeah, I think we need to get something to set that jack on. There we go. Okay, well this is super sketch, but at least there's no brake in there. Is that a wheel? It is. That's a wheel stuck to it.
Of course.
Oh no, it's the brake drum.
So they cut it off.
Yeah. Hey JD.
Yeah.
New plan. It's gonna suck. That's a posi. See that tag on the rear end? That's a freaking limited slip. Upgrade. I paid $200 or $300 for this car. And it's got a posi-trac rear end in it. Yeah, we're pulling that. Also, the frame is completely destroyed on this car. Save your crying in the comments, please. We kind of used up that cinder block. I'm good with it.
It's not like we're going to be actually under it.
Not very much.
Looks like she's ready to come out.
Yeah. All right, I'll see you at the shop.
Okay.
And bonus, while we were up there with Jax, I went ahead and grabbed that spindle bolt. So we're good to go here. Huge upgrade here. I'm curious to see what kind of gear's in it. It's going to be a lot more work, but totally worth it. Next step here is get this old heap out of this car, and then we'll get that one prepped and ready to go in this car. Yet another free upgrade for this car. Up to this point, I think the only things I bought is a timing set, a carburetor, and an alternator. Everything else I've just had. I've almost have nothing in this. It's amazing. We're currently sitting right around $2,400. We'll be all into this car for $3 grand, easily. We better lubricate liberally here. Oh my God. Jesus. Well, I'm turning it. I am more powerful than the impact. To the death wheel. How bad are these? They're not that bad. That's good. At least this one, the bushings are in pretty good shape. Woo, that's hot. Ah. I wonder what springs I want to use. The Buick springs are heavier than the Pontiac springs, but the Pontiac springs are taller. Surely the four-door would have a, I don't know, more capacity spring, right? I'm making the probably incorrect assertion that these springs are squishier and therefore better for racing, I guess. I don't know. To the scrap pile. Well, we got one bolt out of there. Saved it. We might save money on hardware. That grade 8 hardware is freaking expensive. Bolt's fine. If you're gonna open that up,
yep,
we need to tilt it. It's full of grease.
Yeah.
Not only is it full of grease, it's probably full of its original limited slip lube.
Oh.
Which is made out of whale blubber. It stinks to high heaven. I'll go clean up these bolts and get some nuts for them. Okay. It's a good thing we took a look. What is that?
Ice.
That's ice. It's full of water.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It was on the ground. Does it? No, it don't rotate because of this drum.
Yeah.
Ooh, we can see the teeth though. Hang on. Does that say 4116? She's a real rocket ship. 256 gears.
Aww.
That's 41 teeth on the ring divided by 16 teeth on the pinion. It's 2.56. However, it is a limited slip. That is an Eaton style limited slip. They are non-rebuildable, but They're pretty tough. It's not locked up.
Nice.
Ooh, it actually feels pretty dang good. It's not.
Other than that, but
Yeah, I mean that's not good, but we can clean that out and make it better. The axles. This axle feels really good. Does that one feel good?
feels good, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it ain't bad. This one, I think, may have a little bit of an axle seal leak, but hard telling, really. It could just be covered in
Anything.
gunk. I'm not putting seals in it right now, but we'll clean that out.
Oh, yep.
Water. Get the thing under there.
It's under there.
Get it under there more. There you go. Oh my gosh.
That's bad. Jeez.
Uh-oh. Dude. That's what happens when grease and water mix, I guess. We need to let this thing stay in this position.
Yes.
Well, this should work, right? Yeah, if you rotate that, go a little slower. Remember, we're gear reduced here. Flush this whole unit out. It's getting there. We're probably just gonna have to let it drip for a while, you know? It's already a lot better. How about we soak it in some super clean and then let this kind of marinate on it. Fill this thing all the way up and see if that'll clean it out even better. It's blowing a bubble. Let's see if the super clean marinade did any good. No. Yeah, it's better. Well, that worked really good, actually. Looking just fine in there now. Yeah, look how good that moves now. Much, much better. Well, we can't just install it like that. I mean, that would be pathetic. We better take the time to make it look fly. You know what I mean?
What?
That's what the kids say these days, right?
No.
It's super fly.
They call cool.
What?
Cool.
Whatever. I'm gonna prime the cover here, and I think we should go gold anodized on it, kind of like we did the valve covers. You know, if you don't know why gold anodized would be cool, then you're definitely not fly. Oh yeah. I gotta say, spray painting things gold is probably the most satisfying thing. We're gonna seal this thing up before we go cleaning it and then painting it tractor green, only because I don't want to get stuff inside of it and I don't really care what it actually looks like. Then we're gonna fill it up, and this is limited slip 80/90. It's already got the limited slip additive in it, so you don't have to buy anything extra, and it should hold just under 2 quarts. I will say one thing. This thing sat with that super clean in it, upside down, and I don't think
looks pretty good.
I don't think it leaked anything.
Oh,
I think the pinion seal must be pretty good because it didn't leak. I don't have a gasket, so I'm gonna do something that I would hate if I were the one taking it apart, and that's RTV the whole thing on. Yeah, it's on the lowest torque setting. Okay, don't crucify me. I think that looks like a beautiful rear end color. You know why?
Why? That's the only thing we have.
That's what we have. I mean, our choices were white, navy blue, black, Oliver green. Oh, baby.
That's good.
That's awful.
That looks great.
That'll be kind of cool.
What are you talking about?
That'll be cool. It's definitely not going to look like a Joe Diffie song around here. Yeah, paint those bushings. That way they seat better. Billy Joe loved Charlene.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
It's green.
It's green. I've ran some brake lines, got the wheel cylinders mounted up, and I'll probably just assemble the brakes once it's in the car. But she's ready for install, so let me grow a tail real quick and throw this in. Alright, you ugly son of a bitch, time to get in there. Oh, there get them to where the damn control arms started, then they pretty much install themselves. There we go. Close. Real close. Come on, baby. Everything's loosely attached. You might notice, this thing's still wet. I look like the Jolly Green Giant by the time I'm done here. All installed, brake line hooked up, drive shaft fits just as poorly as it did before. I'm gonna knock out the brakes, get them mounted up, hung on there, we'll bleed them. We can put this thing on the ground, finally. This is just supposed to be a simple brake job. How did this turn into like 3 days? Make yourself comfy. Let's bleed some brakes. Oh, easy there. Don't scratch the floors. Oh, easy. Hey, there you go. It's a good seat now. Go ahead and go down.
Down.
Up. Go down.
Down.
Up.
Up.
There we go. Now we're getting fluid. There was some air. All right, what's the verdict? Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Good brakes. Cool. It was a long road to get to these brakes.
But we got done. Rear end after another.
Now we got a posi and brakes. I mean, that's winning. Well, let's get some wheels on this thing. I traded my dad some stuff for these Chevy SS wheels and tires. These are off of his Nova, and I'm not a huge fan of these, to be honest with you, but it's a hell of a lot better than black steel wheels.
Yeah.
You can see all the red overspray on them from his Nova. That's gonna look good.
Yeah, it is gonna look good.
Does he get close to anything? Nope. No inner fender to worry about.
Yeah.
That's nice. Unfortunately, we had to buy a new transmission cooler. I looked around, I couldn't find one.
You're really selling out.
I know. Well, you get that mounted, and dropping the car did clearance that steering shaft a lot, but just to make super duper sure, I'm gonna hit that with a cutoff wheel before we put a fender on. Could have got in there when there was no wheel on it. I got another idea. Maybe we can move the whole column over. So all that holds these columns in is 4 self-tapping screws through the firewall, and then these 2 nuts here, which are slotted to be adjustable. And if I pull hard on this wheel, how's that look?
A lot better.
Yeah? Like
Yeah.
good?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. It's got a solid 1/4 inch now. That's no problem. That thing was, that steering column was all the way that way.
Oh.
That's probably why we had that problem in the first place. Kind of take into account for body flex and stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and grind this a little more. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, yep, there we go. I feel a lot better though. That's a lot safer. Now we gotta get this inner fender off because inner fenders they just slow you down.
Yeah.
You know. Well, time to get the cutoff wheel. There we go. Huh.
Well,
it's not that bad.
looks pretty cool.
We just have to do just race car gaps is all we need. This is actually pretty good, but to keep it from flopping, we need to attach the bottom of the fender. And there is a bolt in here, but it ain't coming out. So we'll just take some of this plumber's strap and just self-tapper it straight to the rocker. That should work. It works.
Pretty good.
Does it look okay?
Yeah, it looks fine. I mean, it's got, for a race car, it looks fine.
Think so?
Yeah.
All right. Closed up our door gap. Nice. Looks good. Make sure that side didn't close up too much, actually. Nah.
Yeah, we're good.
Hell yeah. So the Cadillac had these fender braces in it. I don't know, it'd be pretty cool to use in this. This has a little step in it here. There. That would work.
I could bolt mine down.
Yeah, get that one started.
There's another bolt there. If you know.
We'll just self-tapper this into place. Now we're going to really make sure it's secure with self-tappers and fender washers. Yep.
Yep. That's gonna
That'll work.
hold everything together.
Yeah, I'm going to put 2 in it.
Oh.
Yeah. I think having a little extra on there is probably not a bad idea. Anyway. Let's get the hood mounted. Better than Cadillac. This side ain't bad at all. This side needs to move. I think this fender's bent. Oh, it is. It's the fender. Mm-hmm. Just gotta do some body work. Yeah. I don't know what we did, but apparently we need a radiator now. So that's cool. It's a whole car again. This whole hood does need to go that way a little bit. Good enough. It's a race car. Let's get a grill in it. You get your fingers in it to put the nuts on.
I can.
I can't. The little holes here for you to, you can, maybe a nut driver or a short well socket might help with that. Well, we're trying to get some headlights mounted in here. We got these two. We're working with some buckets of stuff I had left over. The bezels that were in the car are not for this. I'm not sure what they're for, so I got a good deal on a pair on eBay, $60 for both. There's not anything else useful in the car, I don't think. Hey, there's a mirror. I can put that on. I don't have a headlight harness. To hook the headlights to, it needs to like look quasi-legal-ish. And you do actually have to have taillights to race. I did buy some taillight lenses on eBay too. Hey JD?
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and finish these quarters out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Make sure.
Yep.
Don't use any Bondo though.
No, we want it all steel. You know, that way the car waves at you, you know? There we go. Wow, they couldn't have picked a worse can of spray paint to do this with.
You're using spray paint?
Yeah, I'm finishing them out right now. They're done.
Oh.
No Bondo.
Good.
Bodywork is complete. Also, I will straighten out this quarter at some point, but see, much better.
Will you though?
Huh?
Will you though?
Straighten it out? Yes. Fix it? No. We at some point may want to like make some braces for those fronts of the fenders. But overall, yeah, I'm cool with it. Looks better than it did. Once we get the headlight bezels, I'm good. Then we'll need to get an equally sketchy interior. Not going to be much to it. Pretty much going to reassemble this bench seat and install it, I think. Onto the inside. You got to get the ice lake out of here. Mm-hmm. Then we'll also, we got the Grand Canyon in here. It's an interesting natural feature of this floor pan. We'll just leave that alone though. Oh, hey, you unearthed the rear window molding.
Oh.
Good. Good. Yeah, we'll need that.
Defrost.
I'll put it over here to thaw. I'm going to put JD on trying to get that window back on the track over there. I had some gauges laying around. We'll put a set of gauges in it. And we'll reassemble the bench seat, throw that in, and good enough. The back of that track is bent. We're able to get the glass back up. So he's going to have to straighten out that track. We're going to have to try to reattach the glass to the track and preferably do it in the door. Because these post cars are a little tougher to do. If we can get the glass out, but it sucks. I got my window reinstallation sauce here.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's for a 64 Buick.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. Huh?
That's a lot.
It's a big window channel. You just take a little JB Weld. Get rid of that pesky seal that was in there. You don't need that. Pack this channel full of JB Weld. Then you roll the window down into it. And you're just good to go. Oh yeah. Ready for this?
Yep.
It's getting there. Trust the process, JB. There.
Wow.
See that?
Yep. Just gotta let it sit for a while.
You'll let it sit. It's so damn cold. We'll have to sit for 2 days, but well, thankfully we don't have a whole lot else to do for 2 days. But yeah, now
Here we go.
I'm gonna leave that probably rolled up.
Yep.
Well, no,
Oh, be careful.
dude, it's already working.
Yeah. Just leave it just like that.
What was that?
I don't know. Just leave it just like that.
What?
Leave it just like that. Don't touch it.
Oh, I see a tip sender down here. It's coming out.
Good.
And the oil pressure sender is back here. Would have been, hindsight, would have been a lot easier to get to that when the engine was out of the car. Or maybe when the front end wasn't on the car. But,
yeah,
you know, that's not how I do things. Well, we got gauges. We're going to have a tack. Now, I religiously hoard this stuff. I buy it at swap meets. Like, only reason I go to swap meets is to look for wheels and gauges. Hose clamp this baby to the column. Good to go. Like those. They don't match, but they kind of match.
Yeah.
Good enough. Ta-da! Well, we got this much. Let's put maybe see if we can get the dash pad on and then put the seat in. Well, I got the dash pad on there. And, you know, I guess smashing your face into that might feel a little bit better than the metal dashboard. Before we throw a seat in, we should probably throw seat belts in. And there's no hole for that here. There's no hole in the car either. It looks like it's just overlapped over the old pan. 64 seat belts would have been optional. I'm going to punch a hole in this area. There's a body brace here. That's where you want to put your seat belt. It does have the hole in the tunnel, which is nice. Now, I ain't getting all fancy on you, all right? It's just lap belts. You know, I mean, nothing too fancy. Spinal separation may occur. I dug through my stash of random seat belts. I got this one. We need one more, and I was wrong. This car did have seat belts original. It's got them back there. JD trying to pull the rear seat belts out, but they are bolted and nutted, which means they're not factory, most likely.
Yes, I do.
Same thing.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Oh well. Yep.
Yep.
That's we're done, right?
Yep. Okay, let's drive it.
Okay. Just put that hook in there. Then you just stretch the seat over, lock it over that pin. How is it? Oh!
Actually not bad.
It's actually really comfortable. Good seating position. See, my gauge is real nice. Tack right in front of my face. Brakes are good. Full throttle. Comfy and laid back. There's nothing safe about this vehicle. The snow should clear out of here in the next day or two. In the meantime, we could make sure that this thing is running and time it and get it ready to go. We know the radiator's going to leak, but if we could at least get everything else dialed, it only leaves us with one thing to do. And we could probably drive on it anyway. I did put a little gas in the tank, so if we can get it to start sucking up gas on its own.
Is it in park?
Yeah. Why would it go forward? Why would it try to go forward even if it was in reverse? It's probably nothing. Nice. It's running good. Oh, well, that's not so good. Big fuel leak. Well, the fuel pump works. There don't seem to be no holes in this. JD's pulling out what may be a filter. Well, we're not running the heater for a minute. What was in that?
Filter.
Okay, it's just a screen. Hard telling if this is what was leaking or if it was the line.
No.
There ain't no hole in that. Oh.
What?
Nice. It all just falls apart. I would just wager a bet that that O-ring is bad on that brand new fuel pump. Let's slather up the threads of that with some gasola. This will make it seal on the threads, maybe. This is not regular Teflon tape. This is gasola. It is fuel resistant, and it can be used to seal a pipe thread on gas fittings or brake line fittings sometimes where pipe thread is used. In general, thread sealants don't work with gasoline. Let's try again. Good?
Yep.
The miracle of video editing is a handy tool to have when you're working on a car. I didn't notice this giant fireball here. Now I am revving the engine and also richening the fuel mixture screws, but that is very indicative of late timing. And I'm thinking I might not have enough timing in this thing. That balancer may be way off. It's not running bad, it's just not running very good. I need to check total timing, but that little off-idle stumble, I'm thinking could be this. This accelerator pump is on the slowest ramp, and I think it could use probably the biggest one. Lightweight car, motor with decent compression. So we'll just move this arm out to the end. Now it squirts more gas.
It's at 28 degrees. That sounds good there. Let's see if it starts back up.
Yeah. Nope.
So that's what happens. You get too much timing in there, it starts bucking and hollering at you. So, about like that.
No, it's better, but
well, that could be better. Well, we need transmission fluid. It's pretty low on that yet. I just wanted to see what would happen. I don't think we're getting away without a radiator.
yeah, we need something that can cool it down, not leak.
I mean, I'm guessing the reason that it was getting hot is because there's not enough water in it. Well, I feel good about the timing though. Let me make sure it starts back up.
Okay.
That's fine. It's maybe a touch too much timing, but it was sitting at right about 17 degrees. And I would call that too much, really, but I don't trust that balancer either, so it sounds good there. I do have a cheat for it. I got a mini starter. I did buy one. I'm not going to use it yet because it doesn't fit the budget profile, but I did spend some money on a Power Master starter for it. Oh yeah, shoot. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
All the cores blew out. New radiator won't be here until next Monday. That's not fast enough, so I went ahead and just bought a new one at O'Reilly. Right there.
You gonna fill this up?
Yeah, let's fill that up. Let's fill it up with some ATF. Let it cycle and see what it does.
Yeah, we're gonna be just fine. Is it leaking? I think it worked for a while.
Hopefully it stays that way.
It won't be permanent, but it'll last a little while.
Well, we got to zip tie up a few things, like all the wires that are in front of the flaming exhaust manifolds. They're fine. It never got above 180 sitting there. It's a 180 thermostat. I mean, yeah, it's 0 outside. That is definitely helping us, but a good radiator, and I think this thing will be just fine. Well, let's go for a drive. It is a balmy 6 degrees right now. No choke, remember that. Come on.
nice in here. Very quiet. Well, I think our first stop will be to try to make it to the gas station. Put a little more fuel in it. And then we'll go see if it'll lay some rubber, I guess. Doesn't really have reverse. Yeah, reverse doesn't really work at all. It goes forward, kinda.
It's spinning.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is it spinning?
Yeah, it's spinning. On this side.
Okay, it's not spinning. That's transmission slipping. We better make sure it's full.
Yeah, it's...
Made it to here.
Yep.
We just checked the fluid. It's, well, it was like barely on the tip of it. Let's just dump the rest of that gallon in there.
Yeah. Glad we didn't keep going.
Yeah, that's weird. I remember it working pretty good in the Cadillac.
Yeah, it did.
Strange. I really thought we had this thing filled up all the way, but I don't know. It's coming out of the dipstick. Is that a good thing?
No.
Oh.
Just fill it all the way to the top.
Let's see what happens. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Woo! Hey, it looks like they plowed the road.
Good. Perfect timing. Finally.
Yeah. Takes them like a week to do anything out here. Holy shit! Oh. There we go. I think the modulator valve is bad. Dude, that thing just ripped sideways. It actually drives really good. Pulling 2,400 RPM. Thermostat open. Keeping it cool. Oh my God! We'll get some gas in it. We'll go to O'Reilly. Maybe get some more transmission fluid.
Yeah.
Well, it made it to town. Oh, modulator valve's working now. That came back around.
Probably just needs to be driven.
Yeah. It's like, it's not a bad driving car at all. Not bad considering I found that drive shaft laying in the ground.
Yeah.
Blew the tires off. What a car. That's nothing to worry about.
That's fine.
Nothing to worry about. Before we do anything else, I think we should check the transmission fluid.
Yeah, check it again.
Yeah. It is.
Actually. Oh, yeah, pouring.
Is it?
Yep.
We probably overfilled it.
Well, not yet, but it is from the pan, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's bad.
Huh.
It's a hole in the pan. Like a rust hole. It's just pouring out of it.
Oh.
And then this cooler line's leaking a little bit. Why don't we shut it off? I can fix the cooler line.
Alright.
Yeah, I thought it might have been coming out of the vent or something, but it is literally just pouring out of the pan. I mean, that's easy though. Let's fill it back up. Go put gas in it, try to get a burnout out of it, and then go home.
Okay.
Hey, reverse works pretty good whenever it,
Full?
yeah, when it has fluid in it. Oh, it barely even leaked an entire quart just sitting there for 3 minutes.
Barely.
Hardly even a drop. That's fine.
That's just...
Don't worry about it.
Doesn't hurt that much.
No, it's not that bad, considering there's a Cadillac sitting on the front of it. Make sure the radiator's not blown up. So we have a Draggy app here, and since the track is closed, obviously, we should be able to get some rough numbers, maybe. I'm not going to go like balls to the wall, but we might get a 0 to 60. All I did was spin the whole freaking time. I don't think we're going to be able to get any real numbers until the roads dry off, or we take it to a track. But I bet we can do a hell of a burnout.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just very, very stable though as it was doing that. Like, it wasn't that bad. I don't think the alternator's charging because it didn't want to start up at the gas station, and when it gets in that higher RPM, you hear it break it up. Well, higher RPM, it's like 3,400 RPM. It doesn't rev very high. Yeah. It's ballsy, but we got some fine tuning to do, that's for sure.
Yeah.
In it. We got that posi-trac. That helps a lot, actually. It gets around really good. Hey, we made it.
Shit. It's fine.
Well, it's pouring transmission fluid everywhere, but...
Oh yeah, we should throw something underneath this.
Hey, he could trail us.
Oh.
Huh.
I don't know.
Perfect. We'll just pour it back in.
That was the only time you actually got on it.
I didn't even get to a quarter mile though. Yeah, it's not good, but it was spinning that whole time.
Yeah. And it's snowy and ice on the roads.
I mean, this thing literally is breaking the tires loose at like 30 miles an hour. I don't think it would do that all the time.
No.
I think it's because it's crappy out. Let's see if that battery's dead.
It is
Well, no, I moved the, so I had the exciter wire on number 1. I moved it to number 2. I think that's the exciter. So I don't think it was...
When it said number 1, number 2, it's probably what it meant. Up,
Oh, it
down.
does?
Yeah.
I just
I
guessed.
guess so. Well,
Well, okay, so that's fixed now, but that means for that first entire half, it didn't have a charging system.
it was just running off the battery.
Well, and I pulled inside baseball. It wouldn't start at the gas station, even though I didn't really show any of that. So I did pull some timing out of it. So I was like, well, maybe it's, detonating, but no, it wasn't. It was the battery was dead.
Yeah.
And then I moved that over, and we actually got it to start, and then it's fine now. I do think we might have messed around and wound up with actually a good car.
Maybe.
No, I think it's pretty good, dude. It's smooth. It drives nice. It didn't overheat, and I mean, the radiator's completely AFU, and it still was holding 180, no problem. Never even gave us anything to worry about. Motor's great. I think it needs more tuning, but I think we can get it out of it. The coil, the rotor, the module, everything in there, dude, that's just stuff I found, like, laying in my cabinet.
Oh.
And what I'm hearing in this thing is as it gets up above, like, 332 and it's under a hard load, it's having an ignition misfire.
Oh. Okay.
So it could be the reluctors wore out or something in there, and I don't think it's floating valves. I think it's probably in here. It's kind of badass, actually. Brakes work good. It stops nice and straight. I feel relatively safe in it.
Yeah. Well.
No, I mean, not really. So I bet you a nickel that we're going to find a lot of carbon in here. Crud. Oh, yeah. That's supposed to stick out of that. And the rotor's worn away. Again, I knew this stuff ran, but it's not very good. The other thing we should look at is the curve in the distributor, too. I mean, when I checked it, it was like 32 degrees, but it was taking forever to come in. So maybe we need to get that timing to come in a little quicker. It sure seems to like timing, and it really shouldn't. So, I don't know. Something's going on, but overall, I don't think it's a 13.9 car every night. I think it's you get it tuned right, and you got a perfect night to race. You could probably run a 13.9 with this. But it would have to be ideal circumstances. I think you probably have a 14.3 car regularly, which I am totally fine with. We may actually have to, like, pull plugs and read them and do it right, because something's not happy, and my first instinct says spark, but it could also be leaning out. That is going to be a thirsty damn engine, even at 3,500 RPM. That's right in its power band. I mean, it's trying to feed 375 horsepower. It doesn't matter what RPM it is. It's trying to feed that amount of horsepower. It may need a little more fuel to do it. I kind of wonder. I don't know. It didn't sound like it was detonating, though. If it was leaning out, you would typically hear some pinging or something. I didn't hear anything like that. I just kind of heard misfire. Like, you know how it goes, like when they start cross-firing around a bad cap. That's what it sounded like to me. But I think you're going to see all that in another video. I think we have enough to do on this that we'll just get all of it squared away. We'll put the thing on a shelf until the strip opens. Then we'll do our fine-tuning and get this thing squared away. As it is right now, it's a perfectly drivable car, minus the transmission fluid fountain. But it is totally drivable as it is, which is nice. But we have a few things we got to do to really maximize it. I think there's good potential here. The motor seems happy. One channel update here. A, go to polebarnmerch.com. I forgot. Also, B, Jess and I are going to New Mexico, so kind of vacation-ish, kind of revival-ish. You're going to see it on video, all of it, but it may take me a week or two to get it out. So just keep that in mind. All right, we'll see you guys.